What's up, guys? AFL Ball 11 here with my AFL 2023 Ladder Predictions. Yeah, I'm finally making a predictions video. They're all coming out now, around now. So yeah, it's time to unleash the video. Yeah, we're gonna go from 18th to 1st. So yeah, let's get started. In last place, I have the youngest team in the comp, Hawthorne. I have on this list, by the way. I have Hawthorne. They're the youngest team. They have no experience, basically. They got rid of their best player, Tom Mitchell. They got rid of Gunston. And who was the other one? Jago O'Meara, who wasn't that good for them. He was meant to be good when he got traded from Gold Coast to Hawthorne, but he just wasn't. So yeah, I have Hawthorne last. They signed Amon. They have some good young players from the draft, like Mackenzie, who seems pretty good, but still I have them last. They're just not the best. They're the worst team in the comp. For me, you could see it. They were struggling a lot against Geelong. Put up a good fight against Collingwood in pre-season, but yeah, they didn't go well against Geelong. 17th place, I have GWS. A bit like Hawthorne, very young. They've lost their talent with Hopper and Taranto going to Richmond. They still have some of their good players that played in the grand final a few years ago, but yeah, they're really inexperienced. They're just getting young players in, a bit the same of Hawthorne, just inexperienced. Yeah. So 16th, West Coast. They've dropped off since a few years. Yeah, West Coast. I hope they can go well, because I don't know, no one dislikes them or likes them. I guess they're just there for now. So yeah, I hope West Coast can do alright, but I don't know. I see them 16th. They're alright. They got beat by Adelaide in pre-season, which didn't show that they're that good. But yeah, 16th place should be above GWS and above Hawthorne, at least. So yeah, that brings me to 15th place now, where I have St Kilda. A lot of people have them mid-table, 11th, 12th, 10th, whatever, but I have them 15th. They're pretty. They have some older players, and they have a few good young players like King, the forward. Yeah, but I think they're just lacking the. I don't think Ross Lyon's going to help them at all. I think they're just going to fall to 15th place, because they're just not going to go well. It's St Kilda. They're getting older, and yeah, I think they're heading for the bottom basically in the next few years. Yeah. So, 14th, North Melbourne. North Melbourne climbing a bit since last year with the Wooden Spooners 2 years in a row. I think Clarkson will help them out a lot. They got some good young talent like Sheasel and Wardlaw from the draft. Their midfield is just getting better. They're pretty exciting. They're key players. They have Larky, Cam Zerha is not a key forward, but he's still a good medium-sized forward, very damaging. In the backline, Ben Mackay should just get better and better every year, because he's still a younger, but yeah, he's getting to the middle-aged years in footy career. Yeah, their midfield, Dave Gignac, Jai Simpson, Simpkin, yeah, a few other players. But yeah, I think Sheasel and Wardlaw will help out a lot there. And maybe if Stevenson gets back to his Collingwood form, then they might be even higher than 14th. 13th, I have Port Adelaide. Now, a lot of people have put them 7th, 8th, around climbing back up from last year. But nah, very overrated team. They have, they do have, St Kilda, some good young players like Zach Butters, Jesma, Rosie, and what's the guy? Georgiades, yeah. They're all pretty good, but they're also getting old. And yeah, they got rid of Amon. Yeah, they don't really catch me. They don't catch my eye on they're gonna be good. Like, they didn't... Yeah. No. 12th, I have Adelaide. Port Adelaide's rivals. Crosstown rivals. Adelaide, a lot of people are saying wooden spoon contenders and all. But no, they do have a lot of young talent. Like, more than the other clubs. And they've got Rankin in as well. So Rankin and Josh Shelley are a pretty good partnership as those small forwards. So they could be very damaging. They demolished West Coast in the pre-season. They're just pretty good. I rate them. I think they're going to try and step up in maybe 2024. Maybe try and go for finals 2024. But you never know. Yeah, they're on their way back to the top. And 11th, I have the Essendon Bombers. Yeah, a lot of people put them down there with Adelaide. Yeah, but no, I have Essendon actually quite high in my predictions compared to other people because they made finals 2 years ago, so they definitely have a potential to get there. They have even more young players than that year, so they have pretty high potential. They could definitely make the 8 if they're at their best, but I don't think they will. I think 11th is the spot for them, and it just makes sense, you know. But they did get beat by St Kilda in the pre-season, but they did beat Gold Coast, so it's all right for them, you know. It was all right, and Essendon pretty promising in the next few years. That brings me to 10th spot, where I have the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, they have some good young talent, and they'll drop off from 8th because they've lost some players as well. They did gain some players, like Liam Jones, a good signing for them, coming back from his absence from the game for 1 year. But they lost Hunter, who's probably big for them. They're just average, better than Essendon, but average. Yeah. Nothing much to say about them, really. 9th place, I have the Gold Coast Suns, Gold Coast Suns. I hope they can make finals. They've never made finals before in all their years. They've been, I think, what is it? They're like 11th year of AFL. But new team. No, 12 years of AFL. Same thing as 11, honestly. They're growing some good young talent out there in Queensland. I think they're just gonna get better and better. Everyone's saying Tuke Miller for the Brownlow, maybe, but yeah, if Gold Coast have a really good season and get 9th place, he could win the Brownlow, and he's looking pretty good in pre-season. He is. Yeah, and okay, first team in top 8, 8th place, is the Fremantle Dockers. Now they got beat by Adelaide pre-season in the first match. I forgot who they played second match. I can't remember. No, Freo, they have really good young players. Brayshaw, Brownlow contender. But yeah, I think they'll just slide in 8th, probably just make it above Gold Coast. They're not going to be top 4. They're not going to make a climb, but yeah, 8th they might just make it with their players. 7th place, I have Collingwood. Now, you can't expect them to just repeat that season from last year with all the close game wins. I think they're not good enough for that, as many wins as last year. But yeah, they do have some good young players, but I think a lot of their players are overrated. Not trying to be biased as a Carlton fan, but yeah, Collingwood, they should make finals pretty easily. 6th spot, I have the Sydney Swans, coming off the grand final loss from last year. Usually the teams maybe just scrape into finals or miss out next year, who get smashed in the grand final. But I think they'll hold up because they do have the 11 games at Sydney with their home crowd and everything. You really can't win there. And yeah, they've shown that they're all right in pre-season. They beat Carlton, obviously, pretty convincingly, and they got smashed by Brisbane as well. but Brisbane have been very good. But yeah, Sydney, good young players, and they're just, they'll get into finals pretty easily, you know. 5th place, Richmond. I don't really see Richmond doing that much in the future after, like, this year. I think they'll probably drop off because they're one of the older lists in the competition. But this year they topped up with Toronto and Hopper from GWS. And they'll probably be in contention for top 4 in the battle with some of the other teams, like Sydney. Yeah. They'll probably, they'll be very close to making top 4. But yeah, they'll be a strong team this year and probably a contender for the flag, you know? Yeah. 4th place, I have Carlton. The only team from outside the 8 from last year getting into the 8. Usually there's a team from outside the 8 that makes top 4. Carlton, probably the most likely team to do that. Yeah, they're gonna, in the next few years, they're gonna have one of the best lists in the league. You could argue that they already do have one of the best lists in the league. Really good midfield, really good forwards, obviously. Colonel Mackay, back-to-back Colemans, Brownlow medalist, Cripps, Walsh. This goes on and on of outstanding players. But yeah, I think this will be the breakthrough year for the Blues. As a Carlton supporter, yeah, I hope they do well. Yeah. 3rd place, Melbourne. Melbourne, they're probably the top 3 teams in the league, definitely Melbourne, Brisbane, Geelong. But yeah, Melbourne, 3rd place, pretty reasonable. They'll just they're always going to just be good this season because they just have been the last 2 years when they won the premiership and last year. And not much to say about them, but they're just going to be good. 2nd place, I have Brisbane. Brisbane, yeah, very good team, very convincing in pre-season. So, yeah, it could be a very good year for them, or it could be a shocking year for them. But yeah, Brisbane, 2nd place, and yeah, they're the good young players. 1st place, obviously Geelong. You have to give it to Geelong. You just can't see them not finishing 1st. It's just a Geelong thing to do. They're an older team. They're probably going to slide down the next few years, so they're probably going to make the best of their opportunities now and probably try to go for back-to-back flags. And yeah, we'll find out if I think they'll make it soon enough. But yeah, Geelong 1st. It's just pretty simple. Probably be between, obviously, them, Brisbane and Melbourne, which I said a few minutes ago. But yeah, just Geelong. Well, they have the target on their back, and they'll probably get them on hammers, and they'll be really excited that they'll probably go back to back. Okay, into the medals. 1st Coleman medal, Charlie Curnow, backing him to go back to back. Yeah, he's not gonna get worse. He's young. He's 26, and you can't get worse. He came off 2 ACLs, and then he just won the Coleman medal. So you can't really get better than that. And even he scored 64 goals last year, and now there's going to be an extra game, so he should get 70 plus if you think. Yeah. Okay, rising star. I have from the Hawthorne Football Club, Cam Mackenzie. He's just, everyone's saying like Ashcroft, but Ashcroft, he could have a few bad games trying to break into that Brisbane midfield. He was good in pre-season, but you wouldn't expect him to hold that up for the whole season, being excellent in that midfield. And Hayes Sheasel, forward, mid sort of player. I don't know. I think it'll be between Sheasel, Ashcroft, and Mackenzie. But Mackenzie, there's not really the go-to midfielder. Their best midfielder is Newcomb, he's the best midfielder in the league. But yeah, Cam Mackenzie probably have the biggest opportunity out of any of the clubs, being one of the worst teams in the league. I'm gonna do the premiers now. Premierships. Yeah, premierships. Premiers. I'm gonna do the premiers now. I think Brisbane. I think they've had enough finals experience, and they made the prelim last year, and they beat Melbourne in the semi-final at the MCG, which was very good. They didn't really show a game against Geelong in the prelim. I went to that game. There's a vlog on that. But yeah, Brisbane, I think, should make it to the grand final. It's their time. They have enough experience. Now for the Brownlow. You see, the Brownlow, it's usually a player you don't expect. Like, no one expected Cripps to win the Brownlow last year. And no one expected Ollie Wines the year before, or like Fife to win his second Brownlow. I have Zach Merritt. Essendon, being 11th, probably win enough games for Merritt to get there. Probably taking the responsibility of captaincy, probably fire him up a bit more. And I think it'll be his year, because I don't think anyone is expecting him to win. It's just Brayshaw and Tuke Miller. So yeah, I think Zach Merritt, it could be his season to win the Brownlow with Essendon being 11th. That is the end of my predictions. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. Give me some feedback on what you guys think. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.